A city cloaked in smoke. Towers once home to families now stand as blackened shells. What tragically went wrong that turned home into a death trap? In late November 2025, a massive fire broke out at Wang Fuk Court, a residential complex in the Tai Po district of Hong Kong. 7 of its 8 tower blocks, full of families and long-term residents, were engulfed. This story matters now because the death toll, already among the worst in decades, keeps rising. The disaster has opened a spotlight on construction safety, social equity, and systemic responsibility in one of the world's most densely inhabited cities. On November 26, 2025, at 2:51 p.m., a fire began inside one of the blocks at Wang Fuk Court. The building was under renovation, covered in bamboo scaffolding and green safety netting. Within hours, the flames spread rapidly. Fire moved from block to block, helped by flammable materials such as netting, polystyrene window panels, and foam ceiling. 7 of the 8 towers were affected. As night fell and into the next day, firefighters fought a level 5 alarm fire, Hong Kong's highest category. More than 140 fire trucks and dozens of ambulances responded. Rescue teams attempted to reach upper floors where residents were trapped. Over the following days, search and rescue continued through smoke, debris, and unstable structures. Fires slowly subsided, but the destruction became clear. By November 30th, the confirmed death toll had risen to at least 146 people, with many more injured and around 150 still missing. Fire alarms across the towers failed to operate properly. Many residents reported receiving no warning before flames reached their floors. Construction materials used during renovation, bamboo scaffolding, plastic netting, polystyrene boards, and foam ceiling, are now suspected of fueling the fast fire spread. The construction contractor responsible for the renovation was identified and investigated. Authorities seized documents, computers, and employee records during a raid. Several individuals connected to the project were arrested as inquiries into gross negligence and regulatory breaches continued. Some argue that bamboo scaffolding was unfairly blamed. They note that bamboo, when treated correctly, has been used safely for generations in Hong Kong. Others point to deeper issues: weak enforcement of building safety rules, limited inspection capacity, and economic pressure that pushes people into dense, lower-cost housing. It remains unclear what triggered the first spark, whether a cigarette, a construction accident, or an electrical fault, or whether safety warnings were ever addressed before renovation began. For residents, life changed in an instant. Families lost parents, children lost homes, and some migrant workers vanished without a trace. One elderly survivor said he returned to his unit after decades only to find everything burned like memories. His words captured the deep emotional toll. Communities that shared daily routines, neighbors who cooked together, grandparents who watched children, friends who greeted each morning, were erased in a matter of hours. Experts say this tragedy shows how dangerous flammable materials and ignored warnings can be. It's like stacking dry tinder inside a wind tunnel. One spark, and everything becomes fuel. The event forces a wider reflection on how fast-growing cities with aging housing must balance renovation, cost, and safety. When economic pressure favors cheaper fixes, it's people who pay the highest price. We know 7 towers burned. At least 146 people died. Many more are missing. Renovation materials and failed fire alarms likely played a major role, and authorities are investigating negligence. We still do not know the exact ignition source or whether earlier warnings were ever addressed. With high confidence, a full public inquiry will follow, along with tighter enforcement of fire safety and renovation standards. With medium confidence, there may be compensation for affected families and stricter rules on high-risk construction materials. With lower confidence, broader housing reforms, rebuilding older estates, or funding safer renovation materials may be considered, but face financial and political limits. This was not just a fire, it was a warning. The ashes of Wang Fuk Court may become the spark that pushes cities to protect the homes and lives of millions. To understand how high-rise construction and safety standards shape daily life, watch When Buildings Betray Us: Fires, Code, and Urban Life. Content note: this story involves tragic loss of life.